Hey guys, welcome back to Retired by 40. In this channel, I go over my portfolio every week. I talk about the losses, the gains, and anything I learned, as well as go over the news that occurred relating to the market that week. All right, so this week was a pretty good week, I would say. I think everything was, for the most part, going up, and there was one bit of news that kind of hit the whole market as a whole. But other than that, it was a pretty stable week. So the news that I'm talking about is, I think it was around either Tuesday or Wednesday, somewhere in the middle of the week. Papa Trump himself said that there were going to be no more stimulus talks. Um, so if you're not in America, basically, people got a stimulus check for the coronavirus to support people that were getting laid off, or they just struggling, right? Maybe they were working less hours, whatever. And the Senate and the president and the political people in Washington they were negotiating a new stimulus check for the people, and he did say he would pause negotiations. So momentarily, the market reacted, and didn't react well, and we saw quite a big dip on around Tuesday or Wednesday. And for the most part, it did recover, and we kept trucking along, and ended up in a pretty good spot, I would say, in the end. So besides that, if you watched last week's video, I am still continuing on my Robinhood account to just do the recurring buying option for the stocks that you see here. And by that I mean every day, or in some cases, in some for some companies, every week, I buy a certain amount. I put in a certain dollar amount for that company, and buy shares for that company, and it's just recurring every day. I don't have to do anything with it, and it's been working out pretty good. If I see some profits, I take the profits, and it just the auto buying just keeps buying stuff for me. So there's never a time where all my money is not allocated anymore, which is good. My money's going somewhere, and I mean, it was a decent week, I would say, just doing the recurring buying and then just selling when I want to. Now, if you don't want to do that, I understand, because I think we've been, as investors, conditioned to buy and hold, right? Buy and hold, buy the dip, cost average down, which I understand. I like that too. I have different portfolios where I do that, but in this Robinhood account, I wanted to test this out, and so far so good. Although 1 week isn't enough to judge this system, so I'll continue to monitor it. But I mean, I would say almost a 2% gain in a week is pretty decent. And on top of that, not all my money is allocated, so it's relatively safe, because I'm not sure if I can see this in. No, okay, there we go. So I should have about $4,000 invested. Yeah, $4,000 invested in all of these companies. It's relatively safe, I would say. I got $200, or about 2% back, and I'm not fully invested in any. All my assets aren't fully invested, so I like that. I'll continue to monitor it, but it seems pretty to be working out for me. Um, so moving on to this week, this week was a pretty good week. Um, it's now the I beat my previous highest gain recorded, which was last week at 1,200, and ended up with $1,367, which is really good. And my average weekly gain is starting to look good again. I think the highest I recorded was around 300. So I'm still, it's doing better. It was briefly below my target, but now it's almost double, so you can't complain there, obviously. But I mean, a little extra money here and there isn't bad either, right? Other than that, I have been contributing as I said in the previous video, I put down about $1,200 in my Robinhood account, and it's showing because my account has it's really close to $50,000, which is my new target for this year. My original target was 39,000, around 39,000, and uh, here it says 39,200. So I already beat that for this year, and my new target to have another target for this year, right? Like if I don't have a goal, then I'm just kind of blindly investing, and I don't like that. But since I beat the target that I set out for myself earlier this year, I made a new target being $50,000. And if I hit it, I hit it, right? It's still me working towards that goal. But if I don't hit it, then that's fine because I already hit my original goal. But it seems like I'm about to hit that sooner than I thought. And that's pretty awesome. I'm about $2,500 away from hitting $50,000. And those people that are good with math, you don't have to be good with math. It's really simple calculation. But 5% of a million is $50,000. So I'm 5% to my first million, which is worth celebrating. I'm thinking about doing something, like maybe taking out my girlfriend to like a steak dinner or something, just to celebrate a bit. Uh, I see. So I made a video on why I wanted to do financial independence or whatever, retiring by 40. And it's to be able to do stuff that I want to do, right? Like I don't, if everything costs money for the most part, and if I am able to do anything I want, then I obviously will need to have money to back that up. So I guess what I'm saying is even though I am targeting early retirement and all that, I want to celebrate the small goals, and I think a steak dinner would be a pretty good celebration for 5%. But yeah, I'm trucking along pretty well. Besides the quote unquote tech bubble that we had here, everything's been going pretty good this year. Luckily, right, we had a pretty big pandemic that's still even going on, but the markets are they're trucking along as well, pretty steady. So hopefully everyone is making money like I am. I like it when people are, succeeding. So good luck out there. Other than that though, I think my biggest moving account. Actually, you know what? All my accounts moved pretty well. So the Robinhood, I did deposit $1,000. So the big movement here is just a deposit and nothing major here. But Vanguard moved pretty significantly, almost $400 in a week, which is pretty good. And then my 401k didn't move too much actually because I also deposited or contributed $329 into that account. So quick math, about $500 movement, which is greater than this one, but also you gotta consider there's more money here. So really, yeah, no, it should have been to be a significant movement for this account. It probably would have been $1,000 difference between these two, week over week. Moving on to my ESPP account, another big movement, about $300. So all in all, this week was pretty good. I'm not too sure if next week will be the same. We're heading into the election. I believe we're like 2, maybe 3 weeks away, and there's just a whole bunch of uncertainty leading into it, and then getting out from the results of the election. So yes, I'm heading towards a good spot, towards my new goal for this year, $50,000, but that could also just be wiped out just as fast with the upcoming election, the civil unrest, and all all the bad stuff happening around us. Kind of a dick move to end it on a sad note, but I don't really have anything else to talk about. I hope you guys are winning in the market and on track to retiring early. All right, guys. See ya.